Hi, everyone. I'm Meredith. And listen, I'm just a girl stuck in my apartment looking for someone, anyone to talk to. So I found some people. My guest today is Jude Sargent. Jude's a sophomore in high school in New Jersey. He's been back in school in person for about a month. Now, the end of the first marking period is approaching. So, what I want to know is how would he grade the beginning of the very first post pandemic school year? We're going to talk about it. But before we do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't want you to miss any of the new episodes that come out on Let's Talk About It. So go ahead, Jude and I will wait. Like and subscribe. Okay, did you do it? Great. Jude, welcome. Let's talk about it.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. So take me back a little bit. When was your first day of school for this fall semester?
My first day of school was back in September. I think it was September 14th or something like that.
All right. So you've been in for about a month. Overall, how has the experience been coming back post, the pandemic shutdown?
I've liked it. It's been very fun. The workload hasn't been too bad. I think they've edited it so that we have we learn the same amount of stuff, but it's less of like shoving everything into the smaller amount of time that we get.
Got it.
So I think they handled it pretty well.
So it's going all right so far. How were you feeling before the first day of school? Were you excited just to get back? Were you nervous at all because of the pandemic? Scared at all of the potential for spreading of disease at all? I mean, you're a teenager, but were you having any nerves?
I was focused on the school part of it, so I was really happy to get back in. I haven't been that nervous since we've been taking everything very carefully. Everyone's been very safe. So I haven't been too nervous about it, but I was very glad to get back into the school.
What were you missing? I mean, you're coming off a summer vacation. Did you always have, that outlook going back to school?
Well, in previous years, I haven't always been too excited on the first day of school, but I feel
like an evil plan to just get kids excited.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Everyone was just super excited to see each other. Because we had just been coming out of a quarantine, even though we hadn't been in school, it hadn't been too much of a social experience. So everyone was glad to just see other people and just get back with our friends, get back in touch.
So can you take me back even further? Let's go back to last mid-March when shutdown and quarantining began, and I would assume you began remote school through the rest of the year, through June. What was that like for you?
Well, I feel like it was a little bit more difficult because they hadn't had as much time to sort of form a plan, or everything was a little bit more spontaneous. So I feel like on the school side of it, everyone was a lot more confused. I think everyone was as confused as the students were, but I think we made the best of it, and it wasn't too hard to learn.
What was the challenging about it?
I think online learning is definitely different from being in school and being able to learn face to face, do interactive activities. But the school, they they handled it pretty well. Yeah.
For for old people like me who haven't been in school in some time, can you describe what an online learning class is like? I don't think I've ever had something. I mean, I was never in school during a pandemic, but I never took a class remotely.
It's definitely interesting. It's definitely harder to pay attention and keep your focus towards the learning experience. but uh, it's it's not too bad. I think people like it. They're definitely mixed emotions.
So do you have a teacher for every class, or what was your schedule like when you had online learning last semester? The end of your freshman year,
Oh,
really?
the end of the freshman year, the end of the freshman year, we kept the exact same schedule that we had the rest of the year. So it was like class every hour. Like it was a very packed schedule. Compared to now, we they've spread it out a little bit. There are fewer classes per day,
Okay.
so it's different.
Which do you have you decided which you prefer, or is
Prefer to what?
which was better for you as a
Last year,
student?
this year?
Yeah.
I feel like this year it's definitely better because they prepared it. The classes are more spaced out, so it's the fewer classes per day. I definitely don't mind.
Okay. Right. Right. Is that turning into more homework though?
It is, but the homework isn't terrible. I think it's a greater amount of homework, but it's since we have more time throughout the day and we have the days off on Wednesdays, it's manageable.
Okay. So break it down for people who aren't in school like you. What is your schedule like Monday to Friday now?
Right now, well, I have the same schedule on Mondays and Thursdays,
Okay.
and then the same schedule on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Okay. And what
So
are
we'll
the
have I have on Mondays and Thursdays I have first period I have chemistry. So and then I have
that's rough to wake up to.
yeah, it's but on all my days I either wake up to chemistry or geometry.
Oh, did you just
So
pick the short straw there?
it's definitely a jump start to the morning.
Yeah.
And then after chemistry, we have a guidance period.
Okay.
And then I have a little
Guidance period mean?
guidance period is a free time that all the students in the day share to get homework done.
A study hall, if you will.
It's a study hall, yeah, basically. So after guidance, I have a little more free time than other people because I have Spanish after that, and I'm in a I'm in a Spanish class, junior Spanish room. So since everything has shifted a bit, so each grade, so the juniors have their second period a little later in the day than the sophomores do.
Okay.
So I have a little extra time than most of the sophomores.
So has this been easy to adapt to? I mean, it's not only a new schedule like any year would have, or any new semester would have, but now you have the shifting of when certain students come to school. You were telling me, depending on where they live, how close to the school, and even when grade levels come in too.
Yeah, everything is different. Coming into the year, the first like week or so, everyone was confused. Like the transfer students were talking to like some of the regular students, and they were like, "What are we, like? I don't get this." And the kids were like, "We don't either." Everyone is super like confused. But after the first like week and a half, 2 weeks, everyone started. Everyone got into the circle. Everyone got into the speed of it, and the shifted schedule was confusing at first because it was unlike anything we'd ever seen before.
Mhm.
But kids got used to it, and it's not hard to maintain now.
So, what does school look like in terms of taking safety precautions? You know, for the pandemic, is everybody in masks? Are people socially distant in a hallway? I went to school where I had 500 people, more than 500 people, just in my grade. You couldn't have so just in my grade. So
That's a lot.
yeah, yeah, multiply that times four at least. It would be impossible to socially distance. I can't imagine how the high school I went to when I was growing up is working now. How are things for you guys? Are you guys able to socially distance?
Well, since half the kids are at home and half of the kids are at school, it's easier to manage. So you split the entire school is split into half already. And then all the kids wear masks. And then in the hallways, you have it so you can only like walk down one way of the hallway. So it's a little bit more difficult to make your way around the building,
Okay.
around the different buildings, because like instead of just being able to walk from here to here, if the line goes this way, you have to walk all the way around that way.
Are
So
teachers monitoring this?
yeah, they're if they see like it's written on the floors, they have arrows pointing. So if a teacher looks outside and sees you walking the wrong way, you can get in trouble.
But do you think basically students are also complying, just doing their best too?
Yeah, everyone's trying their hardest. No, I don't think kids are cutting corners that much.
Literally cutting corners to get. Are you using the extra time in between classes just to navigate to the different parts of the building in different rooms? Is that a part of it? Is that a part of how they planned it this way?
Yeah, they gave us actually more time in between classes. So last year they would only have like 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get from class to class, but this year we have 15. So they definitely took the time restraints into account when they made the schedule this year.
And how, as a sophomore in high school, you're now, if you're not a freshman, you're basically big man on campus. You're
Literally.
right. I mean, um, you're happy to see your friends again. You're happy to be back in with your peers. Is it manageable to be social but also be safe? I
Yeah,
can imagine.
the good thing about St. Peter's is that it's multiple buildings,
Okay.
and then our like sort of hangout space is the outside area in between the two buildings. So it's definitely better that we're able to be outside and socialize. We all still have our masks on. No one's getting too close, and the deans are always going around to make sure to like check on everyone. So the socializing hasn't been too much of an issue.
Okay. I guess you kids, you all just have your phones anyway. I mean, I'm gonna probably throw a bunch of like back in my day in with this interview, so just to prepare you. How many kids are in each class, and how are the each room? Are the layouts?
Each class has about 10 kids online, 10 kids in the room, give or take a few kids. So it's like there are multiple like classes per grade. So there's going to be multiple chemistry honors classes, multiple regular chemistry classes. So it's pretty well spread out. There's not too much crowding.
And with the 10 kids in each room, if you will, the desks are more spread out, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's tape marking where the desks should always be. And when we enter a room, there's always going to be a box of moist towelettes to wipe your desk down, and then you throw it out.
That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys
everything's 6 feet apart?
Do you have plexiglass like barriers or whatever, shields over the desk? I've seen the pictures of those.
I've seen other schools that I know in the area are doing that, but we're not doing that.
What's lunch like?
Lunch is definitely not as fun as it used to be. It's less of a social time now and more of a eat and then leave kind of thing. We have it either in the old lunchroom. We have half the kids go there, and then half the kids go into the gym.
Okay.
And then they have actual desks. Instead of lunch tables, they have desks set up all 6 feet apart throughout the entire gym. So then everyone, you walk in with your mask on, you wipe down the thing, you sit down, take off your mask, eat, put it back on, and leave.
Uh-huh.
So there isn't, and they yell at you if you like go over other kids' tables.
Oh, this just sounds also like, I mean, a combination of, for a cool kid like you, I would imagine, like your worst nightmare. But for like the world's biggest nerd like me, I mean, I should go back to high school. This sounds like a dream.
Nobody gets to socialize now.
No one's socializing. There's no cool table or not cool table. I mean, I love the equality here. No one has fun. Are you able to, like, talk though, or people, like, or is it really like kind of quiet and just eat and move on with the day?
There definitely is. The teachers allow a little bit of leniency, so that if you're 6 feet apart, you can talk to your friends if you sit next to each other at the tables.
Uh-huh.
So it's not completely boring. But if you get up and like walk over to people or anything like that, you'll get yelled at right away.
So you have to kind of plan the period to, like, at least get your friends in the same general area.
Yeah. What me and my friends do, and most of the kids do, I think, is that we'll like meet up outside of the cafeteria, walk in together, and then like just sit in the tables surrounding each other.
Very
to make sure.
Very, like, I'll meet
It's very orderly.
outside. It's very organized. I mean, you'll be ready for like a business lunch in your future. I'll meet you outside. We'll grab a table. Can you do lunch then? I get it. I get this. Now, do you think, all in all though, this has been more effective than last semester's all remote learning?
Yes, it's definitely been more. It's definitely worked a lot better. The spreading out of the tables helped, and also since we're allowed to be in school also, since the end of last semester we went completely online.
Right.
So that wasn't as helpful, but now that we get to be at least like half in, half out, it's a good balance.
Yeah. Do you appreciate, like, what was it like just being home every day? Was that?
It was tiring.
Yeah. More tiring than having to go to school?
I couldn't tell you. I definitely didn't enjoy either.
Yeah.
Going into school, I think because now it's a really good balance. Because last year, like in a regular school year, after a certain point in time, you get super just worn out. You're like, can I please just not go into school today? And then when you're all online, you're like, please, Lord, let me go into school today. So I think being half and half is a good balance of right after you're online for a bit, you finally get to go in. And right after you go in for a good amount, you get to be online.
That makes sense. Could you see, like, the years going forward like this, where they have more of a hybrid setup even after, hopefully, we're a little beyond the pandemic?
I could see how that would work out. I think it hasn't been too hard on anyone. I think it would definitely work to do it going forward. I'm not sure what I would vote for, to be honest, because I miss like how the old days were, just going in all the time, not having
Yeah,
to deal
you
with
sound
this
like an old
pandemic.
fogey like me, the old days.
Yeah. Back before the whole pandemic, but when we could just like go into school and not have to worry about anything. So I think that the pandemic takes away from all the benefits of the hybrid program.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could definitely see the hybrid working going forward.
Do you have after school activities? Like, are there school sports? Are there clubs?
Yeah, there are clubs. I'm not a part of any so far, but I do play sports. I play basketball and lacrosse. So I definitely will be trying out for those. They haven't happened yet,
Okay.
but football games are happening. The football team is playing.
Are they
And
allowing? Do they have spectators? Are you allowed to come? Or are you all going to be virtual spectators, like when you? I don't ever watch the NFL, but I hear that's what they do.
it's they're limiting it to only 500 spectators.
Okay.
Because usually the football games would be like huge social events.
Right.
It's a huge football school. So everyone would go socialize. Even if you don't go to prep, you still go just to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
So now that it's only 500 people and like 490 of those are parents. So I've gone to a couple this year and they've been super fun, even though it's like a 15-person student section.
Okay. Okay.
They've still been fun though. It's been a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, the standards are low. We'll take anything. I would
I'll take anything.
I'd even go to a football game. So indulge me, Jude. Let me run off like a couple of points of school. And the first marking period, I'm assuming, is coming to an end. And give me, how would you grade it? Like, how would you grade? We'll start with an easy one we talked a lot about, lunch period now.
Lunch period is a solid 6.
Yeah, you get a 6. You don't get like ABCs. Am I that old?
Oh, I thought you meant like 1 out of 10.
No, let's go. It's school.
All right, school. Okay. Sorry, I'm not in the school mentality. All right.
Oh, because you're home today. Okay.
I am. Yeah, we didn't have school today. I'm just not ready for it.
All right. ABCD.
ABCD. Okay. I would grade lunch periods a C.
Lunch periods a C. Ouch. Okay. How would you grade, the classes that you're taking in person? Just how that's working out.
In person, I would go for a B.
General social life within school.
Social life is a B+.
B+. Safety precautions of being back in school.
Safety precautions are an A, I'd say.
A.
You've been good about it.
Okay. Overall scope of the first marking period.
The year so far has been a B-.
B-. Tough crowd, Jude. Tough.
Yeah. I'm a stickler.
You're a stick. What improvements would you like to see?
Well, I think like they're doing the best they can. I think it's been a good year for what it is. The only reason it's not an A is just because we're in a pandemic.
Okay. All right.
It's just, yeah.
Well, I think we'll have to, maybe we can catch up again in the spring, and maybe we'll see if there have been improvements on the year. But nothing you would say, offer, the school suggestion box of things they could do better right now. You're going to be stuck with them through the rest until June.
No, I think they've been doing everything pretty well. Maybe I'll have some suggestions in the spring.
All right.
We'll see how the lacrosse season's going.
We'll talk about second and third marking period and how it's all going, and we'll see if the grades improve. Because I think some of these grades, like lunch, kind of needs to come up. Nothing's failing. That's really good. And maybe
no failing grades is pretty good.
No D, no F. So that's an improvement. Everybody's passing, but things we could do better. I mean, I guess I was the nerd. I think I had a 3.8 my senior year. So if I do say so, I want those grades up. I want A's, Jude. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Good luck the rest of the semester, and I hope your first report cards grades are even better than what you gave your school. But
even better when I gave school.
That's up to you. That's also was up to you. But I appreciate you talking, and good luck with school. And we'll talk to you next time. This has been Let's Talk About It.